Welcome to this evening's performance by our graduating BA dance students. Finally, I'm able to invite you to join us here in this beautiful theatre, as well as from your home. Like everywhere, our students had an incredibly challenging year, learning, researching, creating and performing in completely new ways, trying to find their artistic voice in a constantly changing environment. We had to reimagine our very physical, collaborative and interactive art form of contemporary dance. In January, during our first season of commissioned works, the creative process shifted entirely online, with artists coming together from all over the world. Back then, we created dance films and a digital tour. This summer, we have been able to come back to our studios and theatre. New dance works have been made with incredible choreographers, including Divya Kasturi, Kate Johnson, Tony Thatcher, Giles Linehan, and Matthew Harding. The works encompass the creative investigations of a range of movement and dance vocabularies and multimedia explorations. As always, there's also a lot happening behind the scenes. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the costume, production, AV and front of house teams who make all of this magic possible. And most of all, I would really like to congratulate the students for their incredible work and perseverance and celebrate their achievements today. I can't wait to see what they will be creating in the future. So enjoy the performance tonight and stick around afterwards to hear more from the choreographers and the students themselves.
The commission works process has been really fun. It's been very intense because we've created a whole piece from scratch in just 35 hours. But because we're doing hip-hop fusion with contemporary, we've also had our workshops, hip-hop workshops that Matt has done for us, which have been really fun.
It's been quite collaborative. I feel like Matt's sort of style is, I think he had a strong idea for the piece, but he really wanted us to kind of bring our own individuality to it as well. Like a lot of the first session was just him like exploring what our movement was and then kind of working out how to fit that in with what he does.
It's been really fun. It's been quite a different way that we've been learning the material compared to how we've been learning things in first year and second year.
So to be brought in to create a piece which isn't just contemporary, but to be able to bring in those hip hop styles such as like locking into the piece has been really exciting. And I feel that's really inspiring for the students to be able to try something new, something maybe they've never, maybe in some cases, never even done before. Like there's some students who have literally learned locking through this process and like, oh my gosh, like what is this style? Like, and trying to understand like the texture of their body, where's the position for it. So for them, it's such an enriching experience because they're able to try something which is firstly new. It will feel new in their body and maybe something they've not been used to for the last 3 years. So I feel really privileged as a choreographer, as an artist, to be able to come in and bring that to the table.
I think during this process, I've learned that just because you don't get something perfect straight away, not to get super frustrated, but just stick at it. And even if something's uncomfortable to you, it doesn't mean you're not gonna get there. So for me, like hip hop wasn't something I was super comfortable with, and going over the drills and going over the counts constantly and coming in early and doing things like that, and just like using like your team around you to help you with the things that you're struggling with has been like something that's been a big learning curve for me.
It kind of felt right to kind of give it the 35 hours title, the idea of you're going after something. For me, I'm very much big about bringing those two worlds together, bringing that contemporary world together with the hip hop texture, I guess, and the execution of that to bring it to this piece. This idea of going after something that you feel like maybe you want or you need, and then maybe arriving at that point or getting it and actually going, actually, is this what I thought it was going to be? And maybe it feeling a little bit different to what you thought it was going to be itself as well. Mixed in with the fact, I guess, the process being it's been 35 hours to make it, which has been super exciting, and it's been more a condensed kind of process. So for me, I guess I've been really looking at textures of movement. That's been a really big thing for me. So looking at the softness of moments, but also then the rigidness and the intention, and I guess the urgency to kind of move between points. So thinking about textures has been a really big inspiration for sure.
It's actually proved as dancers we can be a lot more adaptable than I think we give ourselves credit for. And especially like how versatile we all are in this space. Like you can all look at us in the space and we look completely different, but then we come together and do a unison section and it's clean, it's precise. And even though we have had people who have taught us hip hop or commercial, it doesn't feel like they're above us and that they're not with us. It's kind of that we're doing this together, we can learn together, we can teach each other, we can rehearse together, and it just become more of an enjoyable space and yeah, a really safe space for people to learn and not feel judged. And I think that has been a massive thing throughout this process.
We went between a mixture of processes. When I say a mixture of processes, we went through more choreography-based material, but then also I really wanted the material to feel like it came from an organic place. So in some cases, the material came from playing a game. Like that was literally how the material came about. So we have one section in particular as a circle, and the game is like this idea of like pulling someone into the space and then pulling yourself out of the space. But thinking about how are you doing this, and one person being like the slow down of the space, so really slows down the tempo and it whips back into it. So we used a mix of choreography, also creative tasks. And I think for me, again, like I said, the most important thing was the organic feel to it, really coming from a place that felt real and was right, as opposed to it just feeling like, okay, cool, let's set this choreography, let's do this amount of eights in this section. It was really about where is it coming from, and the reason is like to the why are you doing what you're doing. Like we have this point where it's being passed between people, and it's the idea of it gets passed from here, like I'm watching it, and then I see it land on the next person. So really being intentional of where is it going in an organic way.
My favourite part of the process has been creating a new work for the stage. Obviously, because we've been in lockdown for the past year and a half, we've missed out on all those opportunities. So it's really nice to feel like I'm part of a production, and creating it with all the lighting and the costumes has been really fun.
And like being fully costumed and being back on the Laban stage, it's been like ages since we've been on there because of COVID and everything. So it's been really nice to kind of like get back performing.